Yo, what's up? It is another edition of ATL 3 Style, and we're here to give y'all a podcast today. Look, this is going to be something different. This is not live, even though we put it out to you at our usual time. But listen, we got a lot to talk about today. And let me tell you something, man. It might not look like it right now, but we still are hyped as hell from a Thursday night primetime matchup. I ain't been to sleep. I just got back from the stadium. I still got my flag. Hey, shout out to the Dirty Birds Nest, everything. We're going to get into it in just a minute, but before we get too far off into it, I got to pass it over to my co-host of the ATL 3 Style podcast. First of all, we're going to give it over to the south side to my man Banks. What up, Banks?
Yo, how you feeling, Leo? How you feeling, Derek? How y'all doing this big, joyous day of Falcon?
Man, let's go. Let's go.
Listen, bro. Hey, wow, bro. Well, go ahead.
Let's go. Pass it over to the east side, man, to my boy Derek. What's going on?
What's going on, Leo G? What's going on, baby Banks? It's a Falcons victory Friday.
Damn
That's
right.
That's all I got to say.
Damn right it is. Falcons victory Friday. Y'all know what time it is, man. Y'all already know.
Like you said,
y'all already know, man.
Like I told y'all, I ain't get home to like 2:30 because we were still out there. We were still out there doing what we do in the A, baby. Hey,
basking in it.
They gonna act like we won the Super Bowl. Oh, every game we gonna act like we won the Super Bowl. Cause you know why? Cause we ain't used to this right here. This is a good feeling. That's all I got to say.
Man, we're gonna get into it in just a minute, man. But before we do here, man, we are going to get into a little business, and then we'll get into our fit check, drink check, and then we'll talk about what we need to talk about. So right now, man, first and foremost, man, I definitely want to give a shout out to one of our partners. You already know what time it is. Yes, right. I'm talking about my man over at BEZ. It's going to be BEZ moisturizing and conditioning spray for your beard. Go ahead and give him a holler. If you need to get your beard right, he got you covered. If you need to get some, man, you can hit him up, 470-222-9927. That's 470-222-9927. Tell him ATL 3 Style Live sent you over there, and he'll be able to hook you up, man, and get your beard right, man. You know what I'm saying? Got some nice products over there. So definitely want to hit him up and definitely shout him out over there at BEZ, doing big things, man. I got some of the product, man. If y'all see me out there in these streets, I got some on me, man. Y'all want to try it out? I definitely get it to you.
What you looking at, Derek? What you looking at?
Oh, you see the beard. Don't act like you can't see no beard.
He looking like, yeah.
Yeah, I was looking at it. On my computer it looks small, so I have to squint like this. They be looking at me like
it's a nice size. It's a nice size bottle, man. You know what I'm saying? You don't need but a couple sprays. We might need the guinea pig.
I'm just
Banks. We might need the guinea pig and spray and see if it come in. He said, "Nah."
A little bit.
But he got a little bit going. He got the peach for it, man. But shout out to our boy over there at BEZ Moisturizing and Conditioning Beard Products, man, doing it real big. We'll shout them out definitely at the end of the cast. Also, we got our other partner. Banks, you want to tell everybody about our other partner?
Yes, sir. Check out Eastland Woodworking Company. Our boy Phil out there doing that woodwork. You just shot him up and hit that QR code. He did something for me and Leo right here. If you can see it, it's probably backwards for you guys, but as you can see, he can engrave it to what you want it to be, your name, the Falcons, or whoever you have a rooted interest for. Hit my man Phil up. I'm telling you, bro, he is doing a good job over there. Shout out to Phil out there. Appreciate you, brother.
Man, absolutely, man. Shout out to Phil, man, getting the product out there to us. Hit the QRC code. We'll definitely put it up again here at the end of the show.
We're going to talk about y'all now later. You
can talk about us later. You want to talk? Go ahead and talk. Do what you do.
Y'all left me out. I don't like that. I'm in my feelings.
Okay, well, get in your feelings.
You saw him like we saw. What's the problem, brother?
What's that? What are those? Like what are those?
Those are coasters. Those are coasters.
Are they metal, wood?
No,
Like,
they
no
would.
wood.
They would.
It's Eastland's woodworking, brother.
I'm just making
Yeah,
sure. It look like metal at 9 o'clock after a long night celebrating the Falcons' victory.
Ain't nobody been to sleep, man.
I like
It's
that. I like that.
Eastland's woodworking, man. Definitely shout him out, man, over there. We'll put that QRC code back up on the screen here at the end of our show for if you want to get down and get you some wood. Like Banks said, he don't discriminate, man. So it might be some teams he refused to do. I don't know. Y'all just got to get at him, but he does
Yeah,
a lot.
it is, and you can kind of guess what team that is. We're not going to go into that though, but yeah. So if you watching this and you're a fan of that team, keep it moving. I'm kidding.
Although he said, "Hey man, he said he won't turn down no money."
I'm kidding.
He don't want to turn down no money now, man. Listen, we gonna get that money. All right, man. Listen. On another note, man, like you say, we're coming off a long night, man. Y'all already heard Derek O talk about it, man. Derek O, man, Falconers. Let everybody know what's going on and when it's going down for the next edition of the Falconers tailgate, the best tailgate in the city. Also,
hey, listen. All I got to say is sometimes you have a little technical difficulty, but when that thing gets started rolling, it's still the best tailgate in the city, baby. Right there on Northside Drive in Nelson, right across from our partners, Atlanta Tucky and the Bookstore.
yes,
The
sir.
next
Yes,
tailgate is going to be funky and live on 10/20. We pay them Seattle Seahawks. They flying across the country to get this ears whooping. Yes,
right.
I said it.
Hey, man,
Hey.
we feeling good.
But I can't talk about, that's where I get my money, so I can't talk about that city too hard. That city pay me.
I got you. Hey, man. Hey, you can't mess up the money, man. Listen, here we go, man. Let's do the fit check, drink check, man. Cause like I don't know about y'all, man. I slept in these damn clothes. I ain't took none out, chains and all, but I'm gonna pass it over to my boy Banks here first, man, on the fit check, drink check, man, for the day.
You slept in that, Leo? Really? I'm sure you're kidding, right?
I plead the fifth. I ain't gonna.
Okay, well, like I'm rocking with the throwback. Fellas, I don't know if you guys realize, but they calling it now the red helmet magic. So I had to rock with the red hat and the throwback. So if it's red helmet magic, I think we need to sign a petition to get this thing so that could be our full-time uniform. I mean, I don't know how y'all feel about it. I'm sorry, them Falcons look clean out there. They look clean. Compliments all around the league about it. They need to make that their full-time jersey. They look awesome with them.
Hey man, it's definitely a nice uni combo, man, and definitely glad to see us getting that second helmet because for a minute it didn't really look right with the black edition. How they had that, bringing that red back, man, really made it pop and stand out, man. And shout out to the field crew last night for taking us back to 1966. How they had, even though there was some mixed reviews, we'll talk about that off air about the situation. A couple of people brought some stuff up to the attention, but we'll talk about that later. We're not going to talk about that on air. But they took it back to 1966 with the design, with the diamonds and everything. So I thought that was pretty cool. Derek Cole, let everybody know what you got on, what you rocking.
Hey, I went Banks on that red lid, baby. That sucker came just in time, too. FedEx, shout out to FedEx. They dropped that thing off right before I got ready to leave to come down to the tailgate. So, hey, I'm happy about that. It was supposed to come today, but they understood the assignment and got it to me early. So I'm rocking this old throwback red lid, and I'm rocking the number 2, who is the newest addition of the Atlanta Falcons Ring of Honor, none other than Matty effing Ice. So I'm rocking Matt Ryan, baby.
That's my quarterback. That's my quarterback.
Damn right. That's my quarterback. That's my quarterback.
And definitely rocking this Dirty Bird chain, baby. Everybody love this chain.
We can hear that Dirty Bird. We can hear that Dirty Bird chain too. It's all we're gonna get some Derek some silencers for his Dirty Bird chain. Hey, listen, man. So y'all know what it is, man. I kept in the same theme and spirit with y'all, man. I got to look. I didn't even realize that. Let me tell you something, man. I got so much Falcons gear. Like I didn't even realize I had this damn hat in the closet that matched the actual 50-yard line display logo. So I threw this one on last night. I had on my throwback Dion, but this morning. So yeah, Banks. To answer your question, no, I did not sleep in what I had on last night. But I got it's Falcons Victory Friday, so I did put y'all can see I got my Dirty Bird chain on just like Derek Cole, man. I got my old school Dirty Bird shirt on. I mean, my old school Bird shirt on. I got my old school fan chain, whatever you want to call this thing. I'm feeling good, man. Y'all can hear it. I mean, even though we hurting, we are hurting. All of us are hurting because it was the primetime game. Just do it to you. But a time was to be had. So without further ado, let's get into it, man. Coming off a primetime victory, Thursday night football, the Atlanta Falcons take on the Tampa Bay Yuccaneers over in Mercedes-Benz. And what a game, what a game. I think this was epic. This was epic, and we'll get into it. Falcons end up winning this ball game, fellas, 36-30, walk-off TD by Cordero Hodges. There is a lot to get into. We had a full lineup outline we want to talk about. We want to talk about other things, but this is going to be the highlight of the podcast, talking about these birds and how we feel about these birds, man, because that was something special that we witnessed last night and what they were able to do. I'm going to give it over here to Derek O first before we start talking about numbers and just everything that happened in this game. Second primetime game, well, actually third, if you want to count the away game against the Eagles. This is the third primetime game that the Falcons have had. We're 2-1 right now in primetime games. I just want to give a shout out to the city for showing up, damn it. That's my first thing, man. Listen, we knew that, this season was going to be different. It was going to be something, with a new coach, with a new quarterback. And the expectations were kind of like, okay, what are we going to see from the stands? From our perspective, because the last couple of years, let's be honest, there have not been, the environment has not been really, really hype. But last night did not disappoint, man. And they showed up and stayed for the most part to see this W into the wee hours of the morning, man. So shout out to the fans. Their cold atmosphere from where you were at last night for this entire game and what the fans were able to do.
Hey, man, I had to send an email to the head dog at the Atlanta Falcons, Warren Parr. If you know who that is, you know what I'm talking about. I sent him an email. I said, listen, whatever y'all doing in the marketing team is working. Congratulations, because the atmosphere, the entertainment, everything that's been going on has been A1 plus. And I'm telling you, from top to bottom, they just been knocking it out the park. And let me tell you something, last night was no exception. Last night was no exception. We put on for the city. And I told him, I'm glad y'all finally embrace the culture of Atlanta, because you see what happens when you embrace the culture of Atlanta. The city will come out, the city will show up, and the city will put on.
Man, absolutely. You already know what time it is, man. Big ups to what they've been doing with the marketing and just the in-game entertainment, everything from Freddie jumping his ass from the top of the damn. I don't know about you. We'll talk about that in just a second. I know I got to give it over to Banks, man, but dude, Freddie is like, every time I see it, man, I'll be like, oh God. But hey, that man hype, man. Pay that man his money, because that dude definitely come out there jumping from the top of the building all the way to the floor, man. Shout out to Freddie. Just all around atmosphere. Banks, he keeps shaking his head over there. I'm gonna pass over to you, Banks. Energy in the building last night in the stadium, man. All the way around for a primetime Thursday night game. Just the energy in the building last night.
Let me piggyback off of both of you guys. First of all, Leo, it's not enough money in the world. Not enough money in the world, brother. Let me tell you something. What he did, I thought he was just going to swing like he always swing, which is I wouldn't do that either. But he actually cut the cord and went bungee cord jumping. Like, bruh. I'm about to curse. For real, dude? You about to do that. And with no net at the bottom. So, heaven forbid, I don't want to even want to say it, but something goes wrong, he'll dead birdie. But let me piggyback what Jericho was saying about the culture. Yes, they did embody the culture. I mean, it seemed like it's a concert every game. I mean, it's I heard when we do our thing, with the swag surfing, and we sing as a stadium about we ready. You see the opposing fans just looking around like, what the hell is going on? Like this is what we do. This is what we do. And to top it all off, you got a quarterback that's trying to embrace it as well. At the end of that game, he was out there, going side to side with the swag. I loved it, man. I love that. That's what I'm talking about. Like this is what the city of Atlanta do. I don't care what Kansas City do. I don't care what the Giants do. I don't care what LA Rams do. This is what we do. And sometimes back in my mind, I feel like the league looks at it like, but that's a whole nother discussion, a whole nother topic. But I know I love what we do. And I'm glad it was showcased and for the whole world to see. And kudos.
Man, listen, man, we are uniquely us and we can't be anything else. This city has a unique culture about it. And I think sometimes, Banks, to piggyback what you said, there's some hate in there, but I think the hate stems from jealousy. I'm gonna be totally honest. And I don't care if I get any flack from that or not, but this city really has a culture like none other. And it's embedded in hip hop. It's funny because I don't know if you guys got a chance to watch the hip hop. They made a documentary about last year's 50 years of hip hop game, which, by the way, no other team did it like we did it here in Atlanta. But we brought everybody. I'm talking about that had something to do with the hip hop scene here in Atlanta to the game last year, and pretty much that deal actually won us that game. But I digress. Let me talk about what's going on now. Big Boy said, we took hip hop. We got that. You can't get your ball back. This is where it is right now. This is where everything at. This is what's hot. Atlanta influences everything. Obviously, y'all see it on the screen. The energy, man, is just something that I can't explain. I've been to other NFL stadiums, and other NFL stadiums get hyped. I don't want nobody getting their feelings like, oh, we get hyped in Kansas City, we get hyped. I get it, but like you said, Banks, man, opposing fans were in the building last night. Like, I looked around and a couple of, quote unquote Bucks fans, if they came up from Florida, fine, whatever. They were kind of like shook because it was, they played in the fourth quarter. Of course, we swag surf. But in the fourth quarter, they did, we ready. They played Archie's version of We Ready in the fourth quarter. And you could feel it in your stomach when the crowd went to chanting, you could feel that in your stomach. Like it was hype. So, man, I got to shout out the crowd, man. From the 100 to, and listen, we have given people hell about being cheeks in the seats at kickoff and being there because we was like, oh, it don't look good on TV. It's, bad aesthetics, whatever. I give people shout out to sit down there in the big boy seats in the 100 level. They had cheeks in the seats. So I'm going to get back around to had cheeks in the seats. 200 level, always. Y'all boys come up there and holler at me on the 200 level. We always cheeks in the seats, ready to go. Up top. Hey, up top now, they kind of known, man. That's a real rowdy crew up top. So I think from the last game, we know it's a rowdy crew up there, man. So shout out to the fans. Banks, I'm gonna take it over to you first, man, and talk a little bit more about this fan culture before we get into the meat of the game.
And how can we forget about Sunday? Bone Crusher and Young Jock just yesterday. I mean, look, what game have you been to where just in the middle of the game, oh, we got a rap session. We got somebody got to throw some bars right quick. No one does that but Atlanta, bro. Like, this is what we do. That's what I'm talking about. Like, we come out in song, bro, with Young Jock in the middle of a football game, y'all. Y'all don't understand. Like, they were about to kick the ball off, and it felt like they didn't want to rush it along because everybody was still, everybody was moving, bro. It's like they didn't move it along. It was like, you know what, this Atlanta crowd is something else. Yeah, we are something else, and it's not going to be the last time you're going to see another guest star. T.I. perform halftime. I mean, the list go on and on and on and on and on and on. We got performers here, y'all. And listen, if it keeps rolling like this, you're gonna see more performers out there. And
I think that's going to happen throughout the season with the performances, man. We've had, everybody from Bone Crusher, like you said, T.I., Quavo, hell, even Bobby Brown has performed. It's a second home. I mean, it's something that we do now. And
TLC.
Like TLC, like Derrico said, man, it's something that I guess the fans have wanted. And I'm gonna tell you another thing too. Another big spot that the Falcons got last night, and they got at the Aints game. I don't know if you got. I don't know where you were. I want to say it was around the fourth quarter. Shout out to the D. I think it was Tigger when they had it played. Before I Let Go, Frankie Beverly and Mays had the whole crowd singing Before I Let Go.
And
I'm talking about
epic.
Loud.
It was epic.
Everybody,
was epic.
everybody up singing that.
Listen, look, think about what you just said. You played Frankie Beverly, okay? Play Frankie Beverly in Seattle and see what kind of response you're gonna get. People gonna probably, clap their hands, stomp their little feet. They're not singing.
Hey, they're not serenading the whole stadium.
They're not serenading the whole stadium where it echoes to the point where you're like, okay, y'all, shut up now. Okay, it's time to play football.
And when they cut the song off, we were still singing.
We were still singing. Like it was epic. Like, okay, only Atlanta would do this. It felt like a big giant cookout. That's what it felt like.
Well, one of the fans that I forget if I don't know if they were a Falcon fan or not. They didn't have on any gear, but they were sitting in the section, and he turned and said, "Man, this is like a HBCU game." And I kind of just chuckled. I was like, "Yeah, that's the kind of energy. That's what we bring it, man. To this thing." Another thing I want to talk about. I know we got to still get into the game. Go ahead, Derrico.
Hey, shout out to the 100 for performing last game against the Aints. I just want to put that out. That's when we talk about HBCUs. I got to shout out to the family rallies.
They did it. They did it at halftime. Another thing I want to talk about, fellas, and we've had some mixed feelings about this, but I'm gonna go ahead and say it, man, because it's kind of grown on me. And we take the culture of things, and sometimes, and I have been guilty of this, and gatekeeping and want to say what belongs where and who needs to do what, whatever the case may be. But I'm gonna tell you something, fellas. I've kind of embraced our Dirty Birds nest, man. Shout out to the Dirty Birds nest for real, man. They have got some real recognition nationally, and just I've heard commentators talk about them. Of course, the players have talked about them. Kirko has talked about them, and they have really led the charge when it comes to like getting the crowd fired up. Like, you know what I'm saying? They be on the first, they be on the front and center when it's time to swag surf. Don't matter what the score is, don't matter what the energy level is, they're bringing it. And like I said, I know we had some mixed feelings about this because of the cultural kind of things and what they were trying to do. And, is this emulating what or whatever? But I have totally embraced that idea. And I feel like, man, it's all for the good. It's all exactly. It's all
our dog pound. It's our black hole.
Our black hole. It's our dog pound, man. That's where it's at, man. So shout out to them over there, man, for doing it up in the bird's nest over there. All right, one other thing we got to discuss here.
Don't forget about the tifo they had against the Saints.
Yeah, so they did put the tifo up against New Orleans as well. They not like us, man. Shout out to our girl Vera over there, Veracious, man. She does a lot of artwork for the Falcons, and she was very instrumental in putting that together over there. So that was real big too. So listen, we still gonna keep the energy up. It's still gonna keep the energy up, fellas, because it's hey, it's a party, baby. We are at first place in the division, 3-2. Them Dirty Birds, let's go. So passing over to Derrico. What's up? Number one in the division. I said number one, right? Did I say number one? Okay. I got to make sure. Sometimes I slip up. You know what I'm saying? So here we number one in the division, man. Taking 2 division games back to back at home against our division rivals, against the Aints and the Yucs. So, fellas, we'll talk about the game here. I know it's a lot I said it was going to be a big show. It's going to be a lot to talk about, a lot to digest. So, one of the things that I wanted to talk about here, and I wanted to give this a good amount of time to talk about because I feel like it's very important and it's very, very special as to what happened last night. Our boy Matt Ryan, number 2, y'all see my boy Derrico over there. Our boy Matt Ryan was inducted into the Falcons Ring of Honor last night at halftime. It was very special, man. It was, I ain't gonna lie, I was emotional for real. Y'all talk about me later.
He cried.
But they gave me some tissue. Listen, this man is not that far removed from this team and this organization, right? And to see him, Derrico and I had a conversation quickly when he passed by. I want to say around the fourth quarter, Derrico came by and we was having this conversation about this, Banks. But you think about like other people that they put in the Ring of Honor, they were gone for like a minute. Like when we first started doing this thing, when they started putting people in, Matt's not that far removed. And we knew once he finally decided to hang up his cleats that he was going to go in. And it was just really, really quick to me, man. It's like I remember him throwing passes on the field like it was just yesterday. And to see him go up last night and get the red jacket, man, it was something special. I said, man, best quarterback in the history of this organization, arguably the best Falcon up until now with this organization. Banks, I'm going to give it over to you here first, man. How cool was that? And just to see that and the emotion in the stadium and the due that they gave this man for what he's done. And also the speech that he gave to the fans, man, letting them know that this is home and we are his extended family and Atlanta is him. He's Atlanta now.
Well deserved, to sit there and hear this man talk. Like you said, and he was just playing back in 2018, 2019. That wasn't too much. That wasn't long ago. I mean, we watched this man from the very first time this man threw his very first pass, and it was a touchdown to Michael Jenkins. And the ups and downs we had with him, I just never thought time would go that fast. It's, I guess because we're getting old, I guess, we can all relate to that. But it was, when the man got drafted, coming to this situation after the bad years of 2007, and I don't want to relive that year ever again in my life. But we know what was going on that year, and it was horrible. I mean, he came in as a rookie, and all he did was take us to the playoffs as a rookie. That's all. I mean, he just took it to the playoffs, and I appreciate this man for what he's done. We as Falcon fans has never experienced a back-to-back winning season until he got here. Thank you, Matt Ryan. Look, the man deserved it. He got a red jacket last night. He's going to get a gold jacket, fellas. And when he gets that, of course, I am going to make plans to be up there to see it happen. So kudos to you, Matt Ryan. Kudos, brother.
Man, absolutely, man. Derrico, your thoughts on last night watching Matt go into the ring of honor, man, and just how their fans embraced everything, man. Actually, so give some context before you give us. So I gotta tell Banks this. We'll tell Banks this story on air because this is funny. So I ain't gonna tell it all, but I'm gonna tell a little bit of it. So I'm sitting there, they about to get ready to do the ceremony. I made sure, what I'm saying, I went to the restroom, did my thing because I got to be down there, man. Next thing I know, man, somebody come down there acting a fool in my section. I'm like, man, am I gonna be on the news? Who is this? And then this clown turned around and it's Derek.
I pulled a pop-up on him.
The pop like just in the aisle, standing in my face, trying to jump in. I'm like, man, what? And then he gonna turn around and start laughing. I said, look at this clown here, man. So Derek was there in our section during the whole ceremony, man. But Derek, I'm gonna let you give your take on that.
Hey man, let me tell you something. It was surreal. You know what I'm saying? I was sitting down there in somebody else's seat, and they came in. I was like, hey, I'm just gonna be here for a minute. They were like, cool, no problem. So I stayed down there during the whole ceremony. Took in the atmosphere, you know what I'm saying, just get a different point of view of how Matt Ryan is unequivocally the best quarterback in the history of the Atlanta Falcons. Y'all know I always talk ish about Matt Ryan, but there's no denying who he is and his place in this city, period. With that being said, the speech, everything leading up to that, they had something for him on Monday. I'm just saying, dog, like y'all said, he's only 3 or 4 years, 5 years at the most removed from playing for the Atlanta Falcons. And there's no doubt, I appreciate that dude. I appreciate what he did for the city. And nobody understands what Banks said when he said the Falcons hadn't had a back-to-back winning season in the franchise history until Matt Ryan took over as a quarterback. That's nuts. That was bonkers. Like, even pundits were saying, that is crazy. You know what I'm saying? So when y'all see us celebrating a win, we understand the pain of losing. So we're going to take every opportunity that we got to celebrate the small victories, the big victories, any victories, because we understand the pain that we endured as true Atlanta Falcon fans, period.
Absolutely, man. Listen, we've had some players come in here and put the city on their back. But let me tell you something, man. For him to be here as long as he was and as tenured as he was, there was nobody on that team during the time that he played that put the city literally on his back, man. I go back to so many games. I go back to, I know we can all name our best Matt Ryan game, the comebacks, against Chicago, the playoff games in the Dome against the Seahawks, just so many, the NFC Championship against Green Bay. It's so many different games. But, one of the things that sticks out to me and just that embodies who Matt Ryan was when he was here is one moment. It's one moment that embodies who Matt Ryan was and who he was to the city. And it was against Carolina. I forget the year where we had the field goal to win the game. And Matt Ryan, the quarterback, walks out there and says, "Get the bleep off our field. Get the bleep off our field, dude." At that moment right there, man, it was just like we knew that, hey, man, Matt is Atlanta. Matt is Atlanta. Like, no matter Atlanta, however you want to pronounce it, this man is that. He embodies that, man. And he defended this team. He defended that bird his whole tenure here, man. And like he said last night in his speech, that this is home. We are his extended family, man. So shout out to Matt, man, for doing that. Like Banks said, man, definitely one day going into Canton and putting that gold jacket on. Banks, lastly about Matt Ryan, and then we'll actually talk about this game. Let's go.
Okay, I just wanted to apologize to both of you guys, man. I didn't get a chance to come up there, meet up at halftime because I wanted to stay firmly in my seat to watch, the whole ceremony. I didn't want to miss 1 second of it. And of course, we forgot to mention that nice wristband light show that we constantly had throughout the game was phenomenal. I was digging it. Hopefully, we have more night games. We can do it more often. But I want to also throw another remembrance of Matt Ryan. That game when Carolina came in here undefeated, and he basically, the score was low, but he got the ball to Julio and he went off and we won the game. And I remember after that game, the whole entire stadium was dabbing. And I'll never forget that as long as I live. And the very next year, Julio Jones had 300 yards, fellas, 300 big ones receiving. And that was the Super Bowl year. And we basically put Carolina out their misery. Listen, kudos to Matt Ryan once again, man. I know he got other games I keep forgetting, but I know those that just really that sticks out to me. And it remembers that he just had that want to, although he kept getting hit, he kept getting up. Everyone never appreciate his toughness. I think his toughness was no other than anybody else in the league, brother. He kept getting hit and kept getting up. Kudos to this man, bro. Kudos.
Absolutely, man. Definitely deserve it, man. So look, let's talk about this game, man. Let's talk about this game against the Bucs, man. We got to get into it. Like I said, Falcons beat the Bucs 36-30. Walk-off TD, Cordero Hodges. But let's talk about this game, man. Somebody phrased it perfectly. I was listening to some sports talk this morning, and I saw some stuff on social media, and several people were kind of in agreement that this game last night was like a damn heavyweight fight. Like, we were just going to see who was going to actually get knocked down first. And there were several knockdowns, but both teams kept getting back up. Goddamn, they was like, hey, let's go. You know what I'm saying? You score, we score. I score, you score. Let's keep going. It was a back and forth game, and we know that these divisional games are going to be tough. I knew the Bucs coming in were playing pretty tough. We've seen what they could do. They destroyed the Eagles last week. Coming in this game, they felt pretty good. And we knew that they had a solid defensive front. Baker Mayfield has been, doing what he does. But we answered the call, and we were able to go blow for blow with them last night. I was not expecting the high-scoring game that it was. I was expecting a somewhat of a rock fight. But, hey, that's the beauty of the NFL. You never know what you're going to get from week to week, right? I'm going to give it over here to you, Banks, first. But I'm going to give a couple of stat lines here as we dissect what actually happened in this game. Kirk Cousins, fellas. We just talked about Matt Ryan and what he did. Kirk Cousins has been our starting quarterback for 5 games. Last night, it's safe to say, was this man's coming out party, man. 42 of 50 for 509 and 4 TDs. I'm going to say that again. 42 of 58, 509 for 4 TDs. That don't even sound right. That sounds like some Madden stuff right there. Obviously, you know, we were taking what they gave us. We had this conversation, Banks, that, you know, the Bucks, I guess, were hell bent on stopping the run and saying we're gonna make Kirk beat us. And damn it, he beat you. It took all the way to overtime, you know, to get there for the win. But hey, it ain't over. Like Lenny Kravitz had a song back in the day, said it ain't over till it's over. Banks, I'm giving it over to you here, man. What a damn hell of a game. Like instant classic type stuff last night from the Falcons and Bucks. And we end up pulling it off, man. What can you say about it, bro?
No words, bro. No words. That stat line you said, 42 for 58, 509 for 4 touchdowns, 1 interception. I've never seen a stat line like that. I mean, it happens. It's football. I mean, you might get a quarterback that get, you know, every blue moon that passes 500 yards. I recall Matt Ryan did it once. Chris Chandler did it once. But that stat line, fellas, 42 for 58 for 509 yards and 4 touchdowns. If you put that in context for where he came from, where in the previous game he didn't throw any touchdowns. I know it was night and day, you know. I could not believe the magnitude of was that 4-day stretch, 4 days, not even a full week, 4 days, and he reached down and got something out of him, and he pulled it out, and it basically was like you said, a coming out party. I don't know. A coming out. I don't know if I would say a coming out party. I think it was a thing of to let the world notice, like, I'm here. Like, I'm not hurt. Achilles is good. Yeah, I'm 30 some years old, but I can still carve your, you know what up, you know. And I think a lot of people in the world, well, not gonna say world, in the country that watch football will see we here, bro. I mean, that this whole conversation, you know, when week 1 started with Kirk Cousins versus Michael Penix, I think that's gonna kind of fall to the wayside for right now. But for now, it's Kirk Cousins, and that stat line, Leo, I still don't have the words to put it properly to say how incredible that was, and for me to witness it. And I don't know, dude. Like, I appreciate it, bro. That was phenomenal, bro. Phenomenal.
Hey man, it was a thing to watch, and you know when we're there and we're watching it, man, you really just can't take in what's actually happening until you know, like today, this morning, or last night. If some of us stayed up, I know Derek stayed up for quite some time. I don't know if you got a chance to just like go back and look at highlights or look at the stat lines, but you don't realize it when you're in the moment, when you're actually in the game. Even though they throw that stuff up on the Halo board, I mean, your energy is so much into, like, a lot of us fans always say, like, we played the damn 4 quarters because our energy is focused primarily on helping this team out. I used every ounce of energy, every fiber of my being last night to kind of will these boys to win. It was that type of game. I'm gonna give it over to Derek, man. Kirko's stat line, man, and just what he was able to do last night, man, in this big division win.
Hey, I'm gonna be honest. I didn't know until after the game that Buddy threw for 504 TDs. I did not know. So that means I was oblivious to watching the scoreboard or the Halo board with the stats, because, like you said, Leo, I was so into the game last night, like I don't even remember even looking up there to see that stat line. But I'm gonna tell you that's a half a thousand in one game. Let me put it in perspective. That's a half a thousand in one game. You know why that's important? Because they say if you get to 4,000 yards as a quarterback, that's significant. Buddy just went for half a thousand in one game.
I can't even fathom that, bro. That's
You know what I'm saying?
unreal. That's unreal.
That's insane. That's like 1/4 of somebody trying to get to 4,000 yards, almost. You know what I'm saying? That's just where it's at. So let me say this: Kirk, my cousin, them, Buddy, you are going to be all right with us.
Kirko changed, baby, for real. Listen, just to put this in a little bit of perspective, man. Baker Mayfield last night was 19 of 24, 480. We did have some, I think, field position issues as far as the special teams is concerned. I know I'll let Derek talk about that in just a minute. In the first half, I think we made the adjustments in the second half to stop giving them such a short field. But Baker Mayfield was 19 to 24 for 180. He did have 3 TDs. But then Kirk, 42 of 58 for 509 and 4. So, and the score ended up being 30 to 36. So it's a lot to digest in that stat line, man. But the quarterback on the other side, you both go over 30 points, and the other quarterback doesn't even get 200. And the winning quarterback throws for 5. That just puts a lot of things into perspective. Listen, we also can't, he had some help last night, right? He had to throw the ball to somebody. Drake London last night with 12 receptions for 154 in a TD, right? I want to say Darnell Mooney went over 100, and we also had Kyle Pitts with about 80. So when the run game kind of faltered last night, and I think by design somewhat, the Bucs, like I said, I go back to it, they was like, you know what? We're going to make Kirk Cousins beat us. That's what we're going to do. Like you said, Derek, on short week, what can we install to try to see if we can get this done? And it was like, let's stop the run. We know that the Bucs are stout. Vita Vea, we know that line and that front seven of the Bucs are stout. And Ty Bowles had them ready to go with stop and run. I have to pull up the rushing stats. I want to say that Bijan had somewhere around
61. He was
12 carries for 61 yards.
5 yards carry. So we'll take that all day and day.
Yeah, didn't have any explosive plays. We talk about Bijan having explosive plays. He didn't get one last night. I think we're still looking for that, but we can talk about that here a little later. But that was the Bucs game plan, I think, was to kind of quell the run and make Kirk beat us. And that didn't work very well for them fellas. Kirk was able to do his thing and look like Kirk O'Chains. And like you said, Derek Cole, man, 4,000 yards is a benchmark for a quarterback in this league. It's not easy to do. There's nothing that stat line of throwing for 4,000 yards in the season is not something that somebody can just walk out there and do. Throwing for 5, I don't care who you playing against in the NFL. If you go out there and throw for 5, man, that's something to be had, man. That's nothing to laugh. Oh, well, they had this or this was going on or that was going. Nah. This is the NFL, dog. You don't throw for 500 yards in the NFL. I'm sorry, that just doesn't happen. On the flip end, fellas, let's talk a little bit about this defense, man, because I wanted to talk about it. The defense has been like the bright point of this team here. Up into this game. And, I want to say that the defense, they played well considering. I mean, you can't be lights out. We've had this conversation, I think, Banks, about, defenses carrying teams and winning championships. We know, obviously, that we have talent on this defense, but I don't think this is a defense that can just, like, wholeheartedly carry this team. We knew we were going to have to get some offensive production here. And damn it, we did last night. So, Banks, I'm going to pose this question over you here, man. Defense, kind of being on break type situation. They made some key stops when we needed them to, and also forced some turnovers. Unfortunately, we didn't capitalize off of the turnover by Jesse Bates. But what did you see with the defense, man? And last night, where do you feel like the defense is considering now through 5 games and what they were able to do last night?
Well, what I saw at the beginning of the year, I saw an improved defense, from week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4. I thought that, in that Philadelphia game, the defense was strong, very strong, coming, playing a mobile quarterback in Jalen Hurts. And then you kind of like, you did your thing and you stuck around, you won the game. Fast forward to this last game yesterday, in the beginning, I was in my feelings. I must admit, I wasn't feeling it. I felt like Tampa was doing what they wanted to do. They were running at will. You said the stat line about Baker Mayfield, about him having 180 some yards, but then on the flip side, they rushed for 160. So it's like they knew they were going to run it at you. And Tampa don't even run the ball, guys. They don't run the ball. That's not their forte. They are known to get the ball to Evans and the other receiver. His name escapes me. But the thing is, right. So we did that for their run game, make them feel like they feel better about themselves about now we can run the ball. And as the game went on, it just felt like it was all running to each other. So it felt like Baker Mayfield had more yards than he really had. But at the flip side, on the whole game, like you said, the turnovers came at the right time. You got players like JC Bates, who are quietly, and I don't think it's even quietly, he's the best defensive player on the team, bar none. I mean, he is the guy for right now that's going to make a play, you know what I'm saying, and change the game on his head. You know, I'm for one, I'm waiting on guys like Arnold Ebiketie. I'm looking for him. Where are you, dude? Um, I I don't even know where the linebackers are doing since the injuries are starting up with Troy Anderson and Landman, and it's like we got that rookie out there. They still don't know where to be at, and it's concerning to me. I feel like they'll get better. I feel like when Troy Anderson gets back or when Landman gets back, we'll probably show up that run defense. But until then, guys, we got to do something, to keep that run game for every team that we play. Gonna feel like we can run the ball. And I feel like we can at least be solid in one aspect of stopping the run. If anything, I don't feel bad about a team passing the ball and catching it. 'Cause that's what this league is about, right? So we got a decent secondary. Hughes is coming. He's a big surprise in my eyes. Um, AJ Terrell almost had one yet again. How many times we said that? So listen, I feel like the defense, from last night, I was in my feels, I was in the whole emotion of the game, and it seemed like we just kept doing this and kept doing this and kept doing this, kept bending, kept bending, kept bending. We never really, really broke per se, but I felt like we got to get better. We can get better. Like it's room for improvement, guys. You can't say that you can't be dominant, but in the same time, you can be better. You can be better. You don't have to have a guy or two guys or three guys just doing the same thing over and over and over and over, and you just dying a slow death. It's frustrating.
I mean, it's week. It's definitely week to week with the NFL, man. Like you said, Banks. I'm glad that there's a little bit of positivity from you. Sometimes your takes are a little harsh, but I'm glad to hear some positivity on how you feel with them coming along. So yeah, injuries were a factor last night. Obviously, missing Troy Anderson. We know the big thing that he did. Having 16 tackles in a pick six against the Aints. Missing him, missing Nate Landman. I think Bertrand from Notre Dame was actually out there. He got some play last night. Also saw another rookie that dressed for the first time last night with Arohoro.
No, don't say his name if you don't know how to say it. Rook Ororo.
Rook Ororo. I'm sorry, Rook Ororo. He was out there last night playing on the defensive line as well. So
y'all
and
gonna
we
learn
also
his name, brother. Y'all gonna learn
Rook
his name.
Ororo. I'm gonna just say Rook.
Rook.
Also,
Rook.
we were missing D Alford as well. So Derek, I'll pass it over to you, man. Thoughts on the defense, man? Came out with the victory, man. But I guess not as strong of a run as we have that we've been seeing in the past couple of games.
So I'm gonna piggyback on something you said earlier. You kind of mentioned it, so I'm gonna go back to it because I was livid at the special team decision to kick that ball short on those kickoffs. You put the defense in a bad position. So we talking about how the defense played last night, but at least twice, you put our defense in a bad position by letting them start like at the 40-yard line. I mean, you cannot absolutely afford to start a good team on the 40-yard line and don't expect something bad to happen. And those two possessions literally is what happened and changed the trajectory of the game. So I'm glad they finally made a decision to kick it in the end zone. I mean, kick it in the end zone. Like, just do that. Stop trying to be cute. Stop trying to say that you're going to kick it short and hope that your special team's going to run down there and make a stop. It wasn't working. So I don't know why they did that this game. But you put our defense in a bad spot by doing that.
Do you feel like, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Do you feel like that was that cool that was kicking off? That he had some
No.
leg strength issues?
Nope. Because after they saw that it wasn't working, guess what who started doing? Kicking it in the end zone. So it wasn't that. That was by systematic design, the special team design. I don't know why, but they made a conscious decision that they was gonna kick that ball short. Period. And it didn't work. Didn't like it. I was up there like literally cussing out the Falcon organization from top to bottom on those two decisions. Just ugly. You can't put your defense in a situation like that, and you can't allow a team to just run the ball up and down the field like they did last night. Other than that, solid performance by the defense. I don't have no negative to talk about the defense yet, but I do like what you said, Banks. Some of our folks that we expect to show up, especially on the edge, they got to show up. Just got to show up. And 97, love you, bruh. Ain't heard your name all season, but one time.
He
So
made,
I
he made a
need you.
stop. He made a big. Well, I won't say big stop. He
Yeah,
made a.
but I
back
need you
and
to
forth
be more.
loss. Yeah,
I need to hear your name more. That's it. But the
totally
back
agree.
end, I like
There's
our
got to
back
be
end.
something more than
Yeah,
Judon getting back there. I mean,
exactly.
Judon is so hard. It's not that hard to find out where he is. He got red
Right,
sleeves on. Every time
right.
I look up, he's back there. He's the only
Yeah,
one back there.
right.
So where is everybody else? What are y'all
Yeah,
doing? You know, I appreciate Judon to the highest. He's has contributed so far this year since we got him.
yes,
Nobody else can't say that.
right.
Nobody else on that defensive line can say that. Maybe
Let
exception of maybe Grady Jarrett week 1, but who else? I mean,
yeah,
where are you guys?
You're gonna push
Come
in the
on,
middle. I
y'all.
think Ayamada got our solo sack last night.
right.
But that's not really what he's here for as an interior defensive lineman. That's a whole topic. That's a whole nother conversation for
Where's
another day.
Goldman? Where's Goldman?
Uh,
What is he doing? Like, he's supposed to be here to stop the run. They running right through him.
Last night, I will say this much. I'm not no excuses, Banks.
Yeah.
Not having Troy and not having Nate, man. I think that kind of hurt us, but it's still no excuse, man. The defensive line should be able to take on blocks at the point of attack. Temple was able to kind of gash us and put some spaces out there. Your running backs want to get to the second level. If your running backs get to the second level clean, and some of our linebackers were taking bad angles. I know on a couple of plays where we got gashed, like, second level, I'm gonna make you miss and I'm out. You know what I'm saying? And that's what was happening. So yeah, defensive line definitely need to tighten up. I don't know what they did against the Aints. But Kamara, first half as opposed to the second half, Kamara with the Aints, they really put the clamps on that run. That was a big emphasis. I don't know in the second half, with the Bucks, what happened with that. But hey, like I said, short week, I don't know, but we'll have to just charge that. Now we got the win and we'll move forward against Carolina. Banks, go ahead.
I also, on the same breath of talking about this defense, y'all, every game this year, I'm talking about even the ones we lost, kudos to the coaching staff for the adjustments. Every game we played, we looked different after halftime for the better. For the better. I don't know if you guys noticed, but it seemed like it was forever. But the Bucks only scored 6 points in the second half. 6 points. The Saints didn't score hardly in the second half. Philadelphia looked pedestrian in the second half. Kansas City couldn't really do nothing in the second half. I don't know what they're doing in that locker room. The adjustments is spot on. The adjustments is spot on, and
some that we haven't
right.
some that we haven't seen with some of the previous regimes.
Absolutely.
Banks, you made an excellent point, brother. Like that goes like beyond our comprehension because, like y'all was saying, we're not used to seeing adjustments lately, and I mean that lets me know that we have a detail-oriented coaching staff that pays attention and says, hey, this is what we need to do differently. This is what wasn't working. So we're going to switch it up. And that's what we was talking about the kickoff situation. At least they can recognize when something is not working and make adjustments. And I love it.
Absolutely, man. It's taking form, man. Derek, I will say this, but you said, man, first 5 games is going to tell us a tale. And it definitely has. The first 5 games have definitely told us a tale as to who this team was going to be. Banks, I hate to pick on you, but I'm going to do it. And I'm going to have to get your take on it. I know there was a little apprehension with this tough schedule in the front. There was some apprehension on your part. There was some eye test stuff that you just wasn't feeling. and I'm not going to go into detail, but now through 5 games, how is your vision now, your perception of this team after what you were able to see last night and where we are now?
Oh no, I'm gonna go ahead and touch on it. I'm a man enough to say that I was the one that put my foot in my mouth, or I actually said what I said. So yeah, the eye test for me going through the tough schedule before when the schedule dropped and before we even kicked off on the tee, I didn't do the first 5 games. I said the first 3 games, and I actually said 1 and 2. I said we'll beat the Steelers, lose to the Eagles, lose to the Chiefs. I mean, okay, I guess that's kind of spot on. Um, I didn't really want to go further than that because I didn't know where we would stand after that. I was trying to figure out if we're going to actually be this team that everyone envisioned with Kirk Cousins. And at the beginning, we wasn't. We wasn't. We wasn't. We were still trying to figure out if Kirk was healthy, if Zach Robinson was the guy, does he know what he's doing? He's brand new. He never called a game in his life. He's just been a guy who designed plays for McVay. I mean, that's not saying that he's just going to do the same thing here. So yes, there was questions. You know, I will say this, and I will own up to it. From week 1 to week 5, all I see is ascension. Each game is better than the last. Each game was better than the last. And you know what that tells me? That tells me that they were trying to get their footing and now they're starting to figure it out. I don't know what's going to happen the next 5 weeks, but I think as fans, that's all I can, do is just go by week with this. Because at the same time, guys, Zach Robinson is still a first year coordinator. Kirk Cousins is still coming off an injury. We still trying to figure out what we want to be and what we trying to be and be consistent with it. So I will say this, great job. After 5 weeks, you're 3-2. You won 3 games in the NFC. You don't know how huge that is. We lost 2 games in the AFC. Big whoop. So guess what? We got another NFC team coming the following Sunday. Let's get rested up. Let's go take this. Let's take charge and let's get better.
Hey man, hey, listen, I don't, as long as we winning while we figure it out, I'm good with that, right? I live with that all day, every day. If we're trying to figure it out and we taking L's, then that's where I'm like, okay, yeah, maybe there are some problems. But listen, we have discussed this, gentlemen. I think in the past have found ways not to win games like we won over the last several weeks here. And for some reason with Ra and what he's been able to accomplish and do, Derico making the adjustments, Banks able to just put a lot of things into perspective for this team, and these guys going out and saying, hey, we can compete with whoever's out here on this field. Like, it's the Eagles. Okay, we can compete with the Eagles. It's the defending Super Bowl champs. We can compete with them. That says a lot about their confidence moving forward and a lot about the leadership in that locker room. Derico, you said we haven't heard a lot about Grady Jarrett making plays, but I guarantee you Grady Jarrett has been very vocal in that huddle and letting people know what we need to do. Quiet as it's kept, Kirk Cousins has been leading with his play and showing people that, hey, I can still do what I do. Drake London, as quiet as it's kept last night, was a beast doing what he did. So I think, like I said, figuring this thing out and winning at the same time is something as fans that we can really, really hang our hat on, like you say, Banks, man. Just keep getting these W's and keep improving. Derek, I'm going to pass over to you, man, before we close this thing out, about how you feel after 5 games and the trajectory and where we can go.
Oh, like you said, at the beginning of the season, I did say these first 5 games will let us know. And I was absolutely on point when I said if we go 3-2 in that stretch, I'll be absolutely ecstatic. We're 3-2 in this stretch. We playing good football. That's the thing. When you got the national pundits talking about the Falcons now, that means you're doing something right. That's all I got to say about that. But yes, the extension, it can't go but keep going up. I mean, once they figure out what they need to do consistently on defense and offense, when they put this thing together, and special teams, gotta say that. Once they put this thing together, I said this on an Atlanta Falcon post this morning on IG when I saw them celebrating in the locker room. I said I like the energy and the synergy of our team. And that's what it is, the energy and the synergy, because you can feel it. Winning permeates throughout the whole organization, and you can see the excitement. Like they was talking about on Good Morning America this morning. What is it? Good Morning Football America? What
Good
is it?
morning, football.
Yeah. They said the Atlanta Falcons picked up Hodge after the walk-off TD. That's like college stuff. You don't understand that. That's like what they do in college with the coach. They don't pick up players in the NFL after a normal win. They just don't. But they understood how Hodge got here, and they know how much that meant to him. So they
Man,
absolutely are a
Other
team,
fans
bro.
are hating on that too, by the way.
Yes, yes.
let them
Other
hate.
fans are hating on
Yeah,
that.
let them hate, but they don't understand how much that means to him. They don't understand how much that means to Raw. They don't understand how much that means to the team. They don't
To the
understand how much that
fans.
means to the city of Atlanta. We love it because that shows that they're a team.
Absolutely. I want to shout out one more player before we close this out, fellas, if y'all don't mind. And I think y'all will agree with me on this here, man. It's quiet as kept. This individual has literally kept us in every game we've been in, and actually it's a team effort. But this individual, I might end up buying this man's jersey. I don't buy people's jerseys, by the way. Let me just preface it by saying this: I haven't bought a player jersey in quite some time, but I am so impressed with what this man has been able to do from his position, and that's a kicker. Younghoe Koo, man, we've had some great kickers here in Atlanta. Let me say that much. Matt Bryan, Morton Anderson. But Younghoe Koo we just talked about this, Derrico, man.
Nick Luckhurst.
Mick Luckhurst. This man he ain't paying for nothing in Atlanta, man. At the rate he's going, man, this dude is, listen, he missed one last night. He had one blocked. But he came back out, he shook that off and sent us into overtime. He booted a 58-yarder to win the game against the Aints. This dude is clutch. This is not a simple position. Everybody think going out being a kicker, that's what you do. You're a kicker. You're supposed to do it. Hey, man, let me tell you, it has a lot to do with confidence. And if you just know this young man's story, coming from Korea, not even speaking English, he didn't even really know what football was when he got over here. His move over here, learning how to play the sport in high school, going to Georgia Southern, getting on with the Chargers, getting cut from the Chargers, getting picked up by the Falcons, and to where he is today, man, it's nothing short of amazing. So, Banks shaking his head.
He played for Atlanta Legend.
I'm sorry. My apologies. He got on with the Atlanta Legend first and then was picked up by the Falcons. So my apologies. The now defunct AFL league or whatever that was. But yeah, it's where he is now. So listen, fellas, I definitely gotta tip my hat. Definitely gotta tip my hat to Younghoe. Because a lot of times, man, we like you said, Derrico, man, special teams is forgotten. But it takes all three phases to win a football game. So Younghoe, Bradley Pinion, and the snapper and the long snapper. Give them some credit, and I gotta give them some due because hey, man, they've been holding it down for us and helping us get through these games. And I'm pretty sure everybody in that locker room will tell you the same thing.
And I want to also piggyback on you, Leo, about Younghoe Koo is becoming a household name throughout the league.
Absolutely.
People around are talking about Younghoe Koo as a top fantasy kicker. Like they talk about Younghoe Koo. I remember we played the Saints, while we were driving the ball to win the game.
The who?
Aints. My apologies, the Aints. The Aints fans actually were giving this man so much respect. Oh, this man is not going to miss. He's not going to miss. Everyone knows Younghoe Koo. And there used to be a time when he first came into the league, everyone used to call him Younghoe Koo. When he corrected everyone as Younghoe Koo. And that when you start doing when you do what you do, people respect your name. You're Young Wei-Koo, not Young Hoku. You can try that, be funny. Oh, Young, you got that Asian kicker, yeah, but he will kick you out of a game. He's a Pro Bowler, y'all. He's a Pro Bowler.
Hey,
Absolutely.
So,
hey,
I mean, say
you know
what you
what,
want
Banks?
about him.
When you got Shannon Sharp, them talking about your kicker on their show, you arrived, bro.
Yeah. And
You
and
arrived.
and, and it wasn't just Shannon Sharp. It was Chad Ochocinco. I mean, they were all talking about this man. Everybody know who Young Wei-Koo is now. They knew him last year, but now he's been showcased, y'all. He's been showcased on a national spotlight. This 3 primetime games we had so far showcased a lot of people. It showcased Jesse Bates, and boy, I know Cincinnati is kicking themselves for letting that man go. Holy smokes, bro! I know they hated to forever to say Jesse Bates is no longer a Bengal because he is doing wonders here.
Well, that was a business decision. I mean, you know how the NFL is. Obviously, you win some and lose some. I mean, they made a business decision. Obviously, it worked out in our favor. So, hey, it is what it is. Fellas, look, it's been real. We kept the energy up. Kudos to us after a long night of watching these Falcons. Shout out to Starbucks and Derrico's espresso machine and Banks' coffee machine, right, for keeping us going. Man, obviously, man, fun times last night and great to do a show and get this out. Obviously, man, we had a lot more to talk about, man, but we felt like collectively this was what we needed to talk about, was this win and what the Falcons were able to accomplish last night. Before we close this thing out, definitely going to pass it over to our partners over at BEZ again. Got to definitely give him some love. If you want to get a hold of this product, 470-222 9927. Hit them up. 470-222-9927. Get you some of that beard product, man. Gonna make your beard look real good, man. I can definitely attest to that, man. Also, gonna put it back up for everybody, man. Eastland's Woodworking. Go ahead and hit that QRC code right now. Eastland's Woodworking. Banks and I showed you what he did for us. He got a lot of other things he could do. Bar mitzvahs, of graduations, weddings, baby showers, whatever, man. He does it all, man. So hit him up. Got some good work over there. He'll definitely look out for you, man. Definitely with both of our partners, mention ATL 3 style, man, and they'll definitely look out for us. Also, remember, next home game versus the Seahawks, Falconers, going down corner Northside Drive in Nelson, right across from Atlanta, Tucky.
Yes, sir.
Doing it big over there as we always do. The best tailgate in the city. Doing it big up there, man. Come holler at them. The best tailgate in the city. So definitely do it big up there with the Falconers players. All right, fellas. Banks, I'm going to give it over to you. Let everybody know where they can find you.
You can find me at Antoine Jarrell Banks on Facebook or Baby Banks 80 on Instagram. Guys, hit me up. Shout out the kid say without going off the air about the Braves and the Dream. Valiant effort doing you guys then represent the city. See you guys next year.
What's up, Derek O?
Hey, you can find me on Facebook at Stacy D. Derek Cole. You can find me on IG at Derrico_Virgo. You can find me on Snapchat at DJ K-Rose6. And you see where you can find me on Twitter, VSU96SDD. And I just want to say, when the Falcon is picking up the city, that means the Hawks gonna be good too. So let's get it.
Hey, man, that's what's up. Absolutely, man. Shout out to, like Ben said, the Dream and the Braves. Hopefully we'll be able to come back and maybe talk a little bit about what happened with those seasons and how that transpired. But, hey, Falcons stole the show. I wish another team would steal the show. So we got to give them their just due, man. Listen, you can catch me, Southern Set with 2 T's over there on Twitter, the X, whatever you want to call it these days. You can also catch us at ATL3, number 3 style, over there on Twitter as well. Also, you can still catch us on our Facebook page if you're still over there. It's ATL 3 Style Live Podcast, as we do it real, real big. Fellas, it's been a good one. Listen, I'm about to go take me a damn nap because I can't roll like I used to, man. So it's been another edition. Next time you see us, it might be live, man, but we wanted to give it to you raw after the emotions of a win last night. The Atlanta Falcons beat the Yuccaneers 36-30. That's what's up, man.
Don't say that again.
Okay, I don't know what to say, but
Give it to you raw. Don't do that.
it's been another edition of the ATL 3 Star Live Podcast, man. We're gonna be out.